The night was dark, and a thick fog clung to the streets like a silent specter. I was just a regular pizza delivery guy, cruising through the quiet suburban roads. The order that came in seemed like any other: a pepperoni pizza and a couple of sodas. Easy enough, right? But little did I know, this delivery would drag me into a nightmare I couldn't have imagined. I parked my beat-up car in front of the address, a modest-looking house nestled at the end of a shadowy cul-de-sac. The windows were all dark, and the only sound was the distant hum of a flickering street lamp. I grabbed the pizza bag and headed towards the door, feeling the chill of the night on my skin. As I approached the porch, something caught my eye, a small note taped to the door. It read in shaky handwriting, "Help, I'm held against my will. Call the police, but do it quietly." My heart skipped a beat, and I could feel the hairs on the back of my neck stand on end. This had to be some sick prank, right? But the desperation in those words sent shivers down my spine. I hesitated for a moment, glancing around the silent street. Should I call the police? What if this was just a joke, and I end up embarrassing myself? But a nagging feeling told me I couldn't ignore it. With shaky hands, I dialed 911 and explained the situation in hushed tones, feeling like a character in a crime movie. While I was on the call, my eyes scanned the surroundings. The windows of the house were still dark, but I couldn't shake the feeling that someone might be watching me. The operator assured me that help was on the way, but it couldn't arrive immediately. They asked me to stay put until the police arrived. I clutched the pizza bag tightly, torn between my job and the possibility of saving someone in distress. I decided to knock on the door, my heart pounding like a drum. No response. I knocked again, louder this time. Still nothing. The eerie silence of the neighborhood seemed to mock my every move. Taking a deep breath, I reached for the doorknob. To my surprise, it was unlocked. Cautiously, I pushed the door open, revealing a dimly lit interior. The air inside was heavy with tension, and every creak of the floor felt like an ominous warning. I called out, my voice barely louder than a whisper. "Hello? Pizza delivery." No answer. I took a step inside, my senses on high alert. The note had mentioned being held against their will, but there was no way to know if it was a cruel prank or a genuine plea for help. The weight of the situation sank in as I realized I might be the only hope this person had. I crept through the silent house, my footsteps muffled by a worn-out carpet. The only sound was the distant wail of sirens growing louder as the police approached. I moved towards the back of the house, where a faint light emanated from a cracked door. As I pushed the door open, I found myself in a small, dimly lit room. A single bulb dangled from the ceiling, revealing a person huddled in the corner. Fear-stricken eyes met mine, and I could see the silent plea for help in them. It was a young woman, her face streaked with tears, and she wore the haunted look of someone who had endured too much. Without a word, I motioned for her to stay quiet. I pointed towards the open window, gesturing that we needed to get out before whoever held her captive returned. She nodded, her eyes filled with gratitude and fear. As we made our way towards the window, I could hear footsteps approaching the front door. Panic set in as I realized time was running out. We climbed out the window, trying to be as quiet as possible. The night air was cold, and the shadows seemed to envelop us in their protective embrace. We hurried towards the safety of the darkened street, keeping to the shadows. As we reached my car, the distant wail of police sirens grew louder. I helped the young woman into the passenger seat, and we sped away from that nightmare house. The police arrived just in time to catch the perpetrator, a sinister figure with a dark history. I dropped the girl off at the nearest police station, where she could give her statement and find the help she needed. The relief in her eyes was palpable as she stepped out of the car, escaping the clutches of her captor. The following days were a blur of police statements and news coverage. The suburban neighborhood that once seemed peaceful now harbored a chilling secret. The story made headlines, and I found myself hailed as a hero, the pizza guy who stumbled upon a distress call and helped rescue a captive soul. But as the days passed, I couldn't shake the feeling that I had glimpsed a darkness hidden beneath the surface of the seemingly ordinary streets. The shadows lingered, and the echo of that desperate note haunted my dreams. The world may see me as a hero, but in the quiet moments of the night, I couldn't forget the silent plea for help and the eerie house at the end of the shadowy cul-de-sac.